Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today in talking about our Doctor Who episode, I want to mention that there are some spoilers because we really cannot talk about this episode without giving away quite a few details. Once again, it links on to what I was talking about last week about the fact that RTD set up so much, so many little hints and clues throughout the season that it was bound to have ended up meaning something. And in fact, it doesn't. What happened is that Ruby Sunday's mother was as ordinary as you could come, a 15-year-old who had gotten pregnant and was trying to keep her newborn away from an abusive family, and left Ruby on the doorstep of the church on Ruby Road and pointed to the sign as to what to name her. Now, who was supposed to see this sign since the doctor wasn't there when she pointed it out, and how that worked out, that's another thing that is one of the many holes in this story. Also, many people have pointed out that she was wearing a cloak in 2004, and it would most likely have been a hoodie or a heavy coat or something like that, not something out of the Middle Ages. So kind of interesting there. Also, her name was Louise Allison Miller. The father was William Benjamin Garnett. Both of them are 15 years old. The father didn't even know about Ruby until they reveal that he's just found out during this episode. They say the reason that she was not recognized by the doctor, not recognized by Ruby, not recognized by Sutekh was because the doctor and Ruby thought it was important, therefore Sutekh thought it was important, and that caused Sutekh not to be able to see the real mother at all. However, when the doctor was first there, that's before he met Ruby, why would he consider that important other than just a woman walking away? And that's just kind of a thing that happened here that they're not explaining, and assuming that you'll just go along with whatever their reasoning was. Now, they make some reference back to Pyramids of Mars, which is where Sutekh first was brought up during the Tom Baker years, and they have a couple of things that are clarifying why they saw Egyptian hieroglyphics and things like this on Mars, and that the current doctor explains as just cultural appropriation. They also mention the doctor's the TARDIS perception filter extends 73 yards, which is interesting in that the episode entitled 73 yards is the point to where you can not tell, you can't, a 20/20 vision person cannot see someone at 73 yards. And that harkens back to this whole episode in which Ruby went through this entire episode with finally the mission of getting rid of the dictator that was to come in 2046 or something. And it turns out that she didn't change history at all. And so the whole thing of that, of why the doctor disappeared in 73 yards is never addressed or never even known about by the characters. And why that would have happened is, other than just to give Ruby a show to her own, doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. They use the remembered TARDIS. This is something that was used in Tales of the TARDIS, which if you live in the UK, you may have been able to see, but we have seen magazine pictures of this remembered TARDIS, which features Easter eggs of all the previous TARDISes, including the license plates for the Third Doctor's car, for the overhead device that was used by the First Doctor, and various other things such as that. It's kind of interesting, And it's useful here in order for them to be able to travel since Sutekh has control of the main TARDIS. And it gives the Doctor what we find out later is a sonic whistle, or that's what I'm calling it. It might as well be. Really the only thing left in this that is and I mean, the way they were able to get rid of Sutekh was very similar to the way the Tom Baker Doctor did, except this time they secured him with a molecular bungee cord and dragged him through the vortex in order to undo all of the death, because since he was death and caused everything to die, his being death would be death to death and therefore bring things back. So we don't know how far this went. We know that Scaros is back, perhaps Gallifrey is, certainly all of the Earth, but does that say anything about the Brigadier and all the people who've died before that? I think that that's one of these things they just better ignore. Then Mrs. Flood. She once again breaks the fourth wall and talks to the camera, and in doing so we have all kinds of clues as to what she might be. She was wearing something that would look like one of the Time Lords, that in the white also, that was a similar outfit to what the first Romana wore when she first joined the Doctor as a companion. It could be the Rani, it could be Missy again, considering that she basically sent a veiled threat to Cherry Sunday. It doesn't look like that she was somebody that was in the Doctor's good graces at any point. Or she could be just a whole new monster like they have done this time, is just to say, well, you know, none of these things are anything but red herrings. And that's probably my only disappointment in this, is that they threw 1,000 red herrings at us and none of it came up to be anything. It's all about, it could be a self-contained episode. We have Sutekh, the monster who wants to destroy all the living things. The Doctor is able to defeat him in a most Doctor-like manner. And the only thing that changes as far as the way he does things is that he allowed Sutekh to die, or at least he thinks he did, rather than the Doctor's usual way of just banishing them or doing something a little less violent. We see also the Doctor bringing up Susan again, and the fact that he left her, and they make it kind of a parallel with Ruby reuniting with her mother. She may have had the same reason for not ever contacting Ruby over 19 years as the Doctor has over all of the years that he's been traveling, not to go back and see Susan. And there is some thought that this is seeding an idea of how to bring Susan back in the next season. Who knows if this is going anywhere or not, but we do notice a change in the outlook of the Doctor as far as how he views his family and how all of this works together. Of course, we've established that his granddaughter was established before he had children because of timey-wimey things, and that's kind of interesting. And beyond that, there were a lot of tense points. Even though we knew everybody was coming back, it was still an impact to see Kate Lethbridge Stewart turn into dust. It was something to see just everybody on the Earth destroyed, all of our favorite people one by one, and the reasoning that the Doctor was the last one that would have been vaporized or sandized or whatever they were doing. So otherwise, if you took it by itself without a whole season's worth of guessing that we've done, I would say it's a good show. It was a good episode. It was satisfying. It had a happy ending to it. And we still have the mystery of Mrs. Flood. We don't know who she is or if she's going to be anybody, but certainly she is someone who stands outside the story. She is somewhat of the omniscient narrator, but at the same time, I think that we will probably see her as some kind of adversary in the coming season, or perhaps in the Christmas special. We know that Ruby is going to be back. We know that there's going to be a new companion, so there will be 2 companions in the TARDIS, it would seem, coming in the next season. So also, unlike just about everything else these days that's streaming, we know that the Christmas special is going to be coming this Christmas, not 2 Christmases from now, and the next season will be in 2025. So that is, at least when you have 8 episodes, you don't separate them by too much time. That's a little easier to deal with. So all in all, I enjoyed this episode, although I still feel a little bit cheated by the fact that they threw down all of these red herrings and none of them were anything. They were playing with us, and maybe that's fair game. Certainly showrunners have lied to us before, all the way back to John Nathan Turner, who said the TARDIS would no longer be a police box, and it was no longer a police box for 1 episode. And then various things like that have happened. So we can't hold it too much against RTD, who has given us a very satisfying season, and I would say many more good shows than there were so-so shows. So we'll give it to them and see what they come up with next. So please subscribe if you have not done so already. Leave me some note at the bottom as to what you think about this episode, or my videos if you like. And until we talk to you next time, thank you so much for watching, and don't go far.